Hi, David Start here for California House. Today we're going to introduce you to California House home theater rooms in a box. This webinar should last about 10 minutes or so. To begin, I'd like to mention a few words about California House. We've been manufacturing furniture in Sacramento, California since 1953 and control all aspects of production, from design and engineering through final packaging. This allows us to focus on three core competencies that separate us from the competition. The first is a dedication to quality in everything we build. We use solid American hardwoods and special formaldehyde-free plywoods. We use oversized fasteners in key structural areas and an ultra-durable super-finished top coat. We make sure all of our products ship either fully assembled or are easy to assemble, and we package everything using 100% recycled and recyclable shipping materials. Everything we build uses what we believe to be the best available alternative. The second core competency we focus on is comfort. There are many beautiful, inexpensive products out there that make you feel like you are sitting on a rock. We design our chairs and bar stools with the correct seating depths, pitch angles, foam densities, and ergonomics so you can enjoy your event in comfort. And finally, all California House products are tailored to fit your style and home's decor. Everything is made just for you, with your choice of finishes and fabrics and customized options. We do not make products for stock, and we do not put products in a warehouse. All of our customers get a personalized shopping experience without having to compromise, and all orders are typically shipped in 4 weeks or less so you don't miss that important party. Today's webinar will introduce you to California House home theater rooms. We will discuss what they are, how they work, and how do you use them. Next, we will show you the basic components that make up a home theater room. These rooms are incredibly easy to build and configure with a few key pieces. After that, we'll show you what room measurements are needed to spec a home theater. And finally, we'll touch on the basics of installation. Our home theater room in a box concept is designed to offer incredible value when compared to a custom on-site build. It's not uncommon that our customers save $15,000 to $25,000 with our room in a box concept. Home theater rooms are a collaborative effort between your team and ours. Each room is unique, however, the parts that make up a home theater room, the columns and panels, are standard. It's best to start with a clean sheetrock room, void of any base or trim moldings. The best home theaters we've seen use an acoustic sheetrock, however this is not required. Very rarely do we install a home theater room in a box into new construction with exposed studs. If your customer would like a home theater room in this stage of construction, recommend an acoustic sheetrock, but it's not required. Home theater rooms are basically a combination of pre-built and finished columns and panels. Some rooms also incorporate a custom proscenium or stage front around the projection screen. And it is a good idea to have spec'd your theater gear prior to measuring for a room. That way you'll know the appropriate screen size. Although fairly simple, the results after installation are outstanding. All you will need to do to spec a room is determine the width and style of the column you would like, and the panel size if any. Everything else is dictated by the size of the room. Of course, you'll also want to select your wood finish and fabric if you choose decorative panels. Your team will interact with ours throughout the process, and a final rendering must be signed off on before proceeding with the actual build. Let's get started with breaking down the various components that go into a theater room. We'll start with columns. Columns are really where you want to start your room build by determining the width and number of columns you would like on each wall. We offer 4 unique types of columns shown here. Our A and B columns are flat columns designed to add architectural interest to smaller rooms and are typically installed by themselves without panels. A and B columns are an inexpensive way to add tremendous value to any home theater room. Posters or sound panels are commonly hung in the spaces between. Our C and D columns are boxed columns, 5 inches deep. These are typically used in larger rooms and can be used either with or without panels. As with all columns, holes can be cut for sconce lighting, dimmer switches, or even in-wall sound. All columns are available in our standard crown and base moldings and include a chair rail molding. Here's an example of the price list page for columns in the Cinema, Laguna, and Stages collections. Note the order code. Like everything we do, it's pretty easy to spec. It reads ML for media column, width, height, column configuration, which is the type, and then the collection. For example, an ML 1894B-CIN would be for a media column 18 inches wide by 94 inches tall, B configuration in the Cinema collection. You would find the price for that right here. Next, let's show you the different panels we offer. Panels are always optional to fill in the space between the columns. And here are the different panels. Like I said earlier, home theater rooms are made up of columns only or columns and panels. The shaded areas you see here are what are included with our panels. You will note on the A configuration panel, you get the crown molding, chair rail molding, base molding, and a flat wainscot. Our B configuration offers a wood panel wall that matches the column. Movie posters or acoustic panels are typically hung on these by the homeowner. The C configuration panel is our most popular and features an upholstered insert for decoration, as well as some sound deadening properties to enhance the acoustics of your home theater room. Like the columns, panels follow the same format of order code. Instead of ML for columns, we begin with MN. Width, height, configuration, and collection all follow in the same order. Here's a cutout from our price list showing prices for our Cinema, Laguna, and Stages panels. I'd like to now talk about the key measurements required of a home theater room. Keep in mind, rooms are not square, not even close in fact. What we do is manufacture each column and panel to the smallest width and height of each room, and cover the gaps with crown, base, and corner molding. This in effect hides any errors and makes the room appear dead level. You will need to measure each wall 5 times to determine the length and height of the wall. Here are the 5 measurements that need to be taken as indicated by the letters A through E. You see that you will need to measure the length of the wall about a foot from the top and bottom of the wall, and the height of the wall in 3 places, towards the end and once in the center. For our purposes, we will be using the smallest of each horizontal and the smallest of each vertical measurement. For example, suppose we have a wall with a measurement A of 180 3/8 inches and a measurement B of 181 1/8 inches. For our wall, we will use the A measurement of 180 3/8 inches because this is the smaller of the 2 dimensions. Same thing for the height of the wall. In that case, we will measure the height 3 times as is indicated by letters C, D, and E. Take the shortest of the 3 measurements, in this example 87 3/4 inches. This will be the working height of the room. Measure all 4 walls in this manner, carefully noting the door opening. The next step is really a combination of personal preference and math. Determine how many columns you would like on each wall, and choose how wide you would like the columns to be. Note that the columns cannot be farther apart than 48 inches. If you would like your home theater room to have panels between the columns, there is a simple formula to find the width of the panels. Take the wall width minus the number of columns times column width, and divide that number by the number of columns. This will give you a pretty close approximation of what will be needed in the room and should allow you to find a rough price in the price list. Remember how I said earlier that our home theater rooms in a box is a collaboration between your team and ours. All final measurements will be fine-tuned by California House and given to you in a printout of a CAD document. We do require all homeowners to sign off on the rough price prior to creating a CAD drawing. Here's an example of a wall using the measurements from before. In this example, the homeowner chose to use 3 columns on the wall measuring 18 inches each, which is our most popular column width. This wall uses 3 C configuration columns, 2 C configuration panels measuring 42 1/8 inches, and 2 B configuration panels, each measuring half of the other panels, or 21 1/16. This is our recommendation only. You could have the columns go right to the corner, but when we go outside of our normal recommendations, the costs tend to rise. The example we just reviewed was from an actual room we made for a homeowner in Maryland. Here's a picture of that room. Note that our customer installed lighting on the columns. This is a popular feature. Most holes for lighting, switches, and speakers are cut by a finish carpenter on site. You can see the light on the right-hand wall of this room also. This was a room in San Diego in our Laguna collection using C columns and panels. Next, let's talk about installation. We designed the home theater rooms in a box to be very easy to install. However, they do require some finished carpentry work to make the mitered corners line up satisfactorily. We get them 98% there in the factory. The other 2% is up to the installer. Installation begins with the panels, if your room has them. If not, it's really simple, as you just attach the columns to the wall with the correct spacing, then attach the molding. As I just said, installation begins with the panels. All panels must be mounted to each wall before the columns are installed. We provide you with the proper measurements between the panels. Panels are typically installed directly on top of drywall and held in place with either finished nails into a stud or more commonly liquid nails directly to the drywall. After the panels are in place, columns are attached to the panels. The edges of each panel have a furring strip on which the column slips over. The columns are then finished nailed in place. Here's a more detailed drawing and something you would expect to see in your packet. All columns, panels, and molding are pre-finished at the factory. Once you get the panels and columns hung, which doesn't take very long, the room is immediately transformed. The finish work, mitering the moldings, etc. is the most time-consuming. Typically, rooms are installed in a day and a half. Remember to pre-cut or drill any holes required for sconce lighting, switches, speakers, or any other requirements. Thank you for joining me today. Home theater rooms are always daunting to begin with, but after the first installation, you will see for yourself how easy it is. If you need more detailed instructions or have any questions, please feel free to give us a call at 1-800-251-3597 or email us at info@californiahouse.com. We'll be happy to help.